Only 10 ACC teams are going to be playing, so just under or just over half of the SEC is going to be playing this Saturday. But we're going to kick it off with Kentucky and Georgia. Georgia 20.5-point favorites going into this one, according to ESPN Bet. I believe the point total is 48.5. Kentucky doesn't have an offense, number one. They have struggled with their run defense. They've struggled in the secondary. You haven't had a good job of establishing the line of scrimmage on either side. Seth McGowan, though, coming off of a pretty good game last week against South Carolina. Can he continue his momentum throughout the season? What about Dante Dowdle? Can he come back after a slow start to last week? Had just under 24 yards carrying the football last night. So we'll see if you can't get that going. But the number one thing is that you need to get both of these backs going early. You know, this is a very deep running back room. Whether it be McGowan, whether it be Dante Dowdle, whether it be Jason Patterson, who, by the way, got his first action against Eastern Michigan, 13 carries for 80 yards. So you'll see those three backs play in a good bit on Saturday. Can you get them involved early and often? This is going to be a run-first game for Kentucky, but going up against a Georgia front four that I thought did fairly well against the run the last two games, going up against Tennessee and as well as going up against Alabama. Both of those games combined gave up just under 120 yards total rushing against those two teams. So a lot that you're going to expect from a ground game perspective. But I think if Kentucky, but the last couple meetings between Kentucky and Georgia have been closer than what people have been expecting. And I don't think that this is going to be close. I really don't, guys. I just don't have a good feeling about it. Georgia has not lost to Kentucky in 15 years. Last time Kentucky won was 2009. And knowing that this game is going to be in Athens at Sanford, average margin of victory the last couple of meetings between Georgia and Kentucky, last three dating back all the way to the last time that Georgia lost to Kentucky, which was in Athens. So from 2011 on, that was the last time. I'm doing the calculations right now because they lost by 9 in 2011, or they won by 9 in 2011. They won by 42 in 2013. They won by 24 in 2015. They won by 29 in 2017. Won by 21 in 2019. Won by 17 in 2021. Won by just over 40 or 38 2 years ago. So, in 7 meetings, the average margin of victory has been 25. I think this exceeds that. I think this ends up being a 30-point Georgia win. Good way for them to bounce back after a rough one last week against Alabama, where really Georgia shot themselves in the foot last week. They really did. And that was a game I thought Georgia could have put up significantly more than 21, where I thought it was personnel issues, where I thought Gunnar Stockton made bad throws when it mattered most, where you dropped the football when it mattered most. Guys, you shot your own self in the foot, guys. That's the bottom line. And look, you have no other choice but to recover from this. Guys, you're 12th in the nation right now. Did the loss sting? Yes. Did it set you back into potential to be in the SEC race? Not really. But the SEC right now is pretty much wide open at this point forward. Ole Miss, they're the team to beat right now in the SEC. But what does Georgia have to say about that? Knowing that that game is going to be in Georgia? Guys, I mean, don't be surprised with when you see teams like either Georgia, maybe Alabama, still come back in those games like that and get back into where they were not too long ago. Georgia is still really good. I really, really have a lot of confidence in Georgia to get back to where they were. I think this is a game where they start to open it up a lot more. I think Gunnar Stockton is going to see the field a lot better compared to what he did last week against Bama. Whether or not Mike Bobo wants to open it up, that's on him. That's on him. But I do have Georgia winning this one by a significant margin. For Kentucky, again, can you establish the run? And I think that's what's going to be needing to be answered. Guys, Cutter Boley is not a SEC quarterback. And it's nothing against Cutter Boley. It's everything against what he has done in the last week or two. Boley performed pretty much below average last week against South Carolina, where he was pressured a lot. I expect the same for this week. I don't expect him to really get comfortable in the pocket. That's the number one thing that he's been struggling with, is just finding that comfortability that he needs in order to feel secure in this offensive line and in this offense. But right now, I think that this is not a Bush Hamden issue. This is a quarterback issue. This is a team where Kentucky has not done well. They've gotten lazy whenever it comes to recruiting a good quarterback. They've gotten lazy when it comes to scouting a good quarterback. And you have nobody else to blame but themselves. Personnel-wise, you are a joke. That's the bottom line, guys. And I don't think that it's going to translate into a win. But if Kentucky is able to hold on to the ball a good bit, if they can move the football on Georgia, if they ended up covering just barely, if they make it a 17-point game and if Georgia's off, I will be shocked. But at the same time, I also would consider where Georgia is coming off of. Georgia would have to play extremely bad for Kentucky to cover in this one. I don't see it happening. Give me Georgia to cover in this one.